So we're live for yet another World Cup win when it comes to India. It is the second. तो हो गया हम लोग ने चेस कर दिया. कितने बॉल बाकी था? आई थिंक 18.1 में चेस कर दिया, राइट?
11 balls, yeah.
11 balls remaining. So what do you have to say? कैसा लगा आज का गेम? पहली बात.
Yeah, it was a good match. Everybody expected India to win, to be honest. Our recent record against West Indies has been very good. So I think this was their 15th consecutive T20 loss or something. So they haven't been really up to the
I think
mark.
this was India West Indies head to head. I think this was their seventh consecutive win or something like that.
Yeah, that also. So yeah, it was an expected victory, but I'm a little bit disappointed with our bowling in the middle overs. I think it was the same against Pakistan also, but
Hmm.
we tend to give away some cheap runs in the middle overs. So maybe we'll chat
Yeah,
about
we'll
that
discuss
in a
that.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Apart
will.
from
We
that, I
will.
think everything went well today. Right from the first couple of overs itself. So yeah.
I think this was a good win in terms of highlighting where we lack as a unit and like what we are doing good on the field. So like if we get these points early into the tournament, then that helps us going forward, right? तो उस तरफ से तो अच्छा ही हुआ है.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Points on the board is, of course, always very important. So I think right now we are joint top with England. I didn't check the run rate thingy, so I don't really know if we are on top or is if England is on top. But yeah, we have to keep up with them because the next match is against England 3 days from now, and if we can
E-
manage to beat them, which will be a difficult task, then yeah. I mean, the end goal is of course to avoid Australia, right, in the semi-finals.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so yeah.
We have to. But this is a good setup also कि England पहले हम लोग खेल रहे हैं before and that determines whether we'll play Australia or not in the semis. So they are the two strongest sides on paper. ये तो कोई नहीं deny कर सकता. So if
Yeah,
we
yeah,
play England first, we'll get a reality check. और कुछ ना हो तो like we'll get that. So so I think, but there are a lot of areas that need to improve also. We'll come to all of that. But then again, I think England has played just one game. I need to check the standings once. I think they have just played one game. Let's see. No, they have played two. They are at the top. They have a very good net run rate, +2, while we have +0.5.
plus 0.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet somewhere ki we should be able to reach this target in 15 or 16 overs. I had a sheepish smile to myself because I know it's never so easy for India. I mean, whenever there's a situation where we want to finish a match early, we tend to lose wickets and then make it hard for ourselves. I think we were going the same way in the middle there. We lost three wickets in quick succession, but yeah, again, Richa Ghosh and Harmanpreet today. I think she was just 7 or 8 runs short of reaching 3,000 runs in T20 internationals
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, that is another something that we can look forward to in the next game. Hi Pritish.
Yeah.
Hi to the
Hello,
welcome to the live.
Pratish.
Yeah, hi guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. So, what will be your key
Yeah,
takeaway from
so
this match?
I think the interesting thing was that India used the matchup very well, especially in bowling, because Pooja Vastrakar never comes in the second over. And when I saw her bowling the second over, okay, then I realized okay, Haley Matthews is there, and Pooja extracted the exactly an even bounce from the pitch to take her out. So like India has, but still, I mean, I still have complaints from bowling. India gave away a lot of runs in terms of misfills, also some loose deliveries. So I think this bowling will be eaten up by England or Australia. To be very honest.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we'll
Speaking
come
about
to. Yeah, yeah. Go on, Shah.
Yeah, speaking about Pooja Vastrakar, how what's your take on that back of the hand slower that she has developed? I think that wasn't there in her armory a year back. I think she has worked really hard on it and she executes it pretty well. I mean, I don't think in the last two matches anyone has hit her for a boundary of any of the slower deliveries, the back of hand ones. she has been pretty consistent
If you
with
look
those.
at
And
if you
yeah,
look at her death over also, that was pretty consistent. I mean that there was this one lucky unlucky four, जो कि मतलब वो that inside edge went beyond
हाँ.
wicket. Rest she was phenomenal in the death over also. So I mean yeah, but I mean spinners or Indian spinners are not really. I mean every game someone is faltering. Today Rajeshwari was not she didn't start well. But Dipti Sharma came back strongly today, 3 wickets, 15 runs. But still, I think the bowling needs some work at least.
yeah, I mean, we played four spinners today, right? Radha Yadav, Devika
Yeah.
Vaidya, Deepti Sharma, and Rajeshwari Gaikwad. And we just went with Renuka as the sole recognized fast bowler, and Vastakar opened with her, of course. I think we have Shikha Pandey and Isha Sharwani in the squad. So I don't really think why we haven't gone with the, I mean, seeing the uneven bounce that both the pitches had, I think maybe we could give Shikha Pandey a go.
I think
What do
वो
you
नहीं
guys?
कर रहे because like all-rounder quotient थोड़ा आ रहा है. तो what they do with Devika Vaidya or like they are now considering Pooja Vastrakar as a like serious bowling option, which they should because she's bowling at the power play and she's bowling at the death. Two main positions that she's handling pretty well. तो उसको लेके कोई complain नहीं कर सकता that line और length गलत हो रहा है. They are not things. So she's managing that pretty well. So I think the bowling when it comes to fast bowlers is pretty sorted abhi for the Indian like cricket team. But as Pritish said, spinners they have to step up and take responsibility as a whole because like on each day it can't be just someone falters and falters that bad कि पूरा mentality एकदम change होता है या we took I think 3 wickets in 6 balls today, right? वो 80 run mark में जो था. But if that didn't happen, I think the match would have panned out in some other sense. तो मतलब और 20 रन या 10 रन तो हो ही जाते, which would have again mattered. तो आई थिंक ये नहीं होना चाहिए बिकॉज आई थिंक राजेश्वरी गायकवाड for 12 runs, if she is doing that, then she went for the 12 runs in the power play itself, right? So I think she can't be seen as a bowling option in the power play. She has to be reserved for the later overs, and Deepthi has to take that responsibility to bowl in the power play. So I think these changes are something to like look upon, but early stages may now that these things are happening, we have time to reflect and make these changes.
I
Also,
think
our
one,
yeah, yeah, Pritesh, go on.
yeah, no, no. So my thing was only that let's talk about first of all we can talk about other things, but let's talk about the star Richa Ghosh. Two chase back to back. She finished both the chases, and seeing a young wicketkeeper finishing chases is like something I'm very happy about because that has been the problem with this team for past 2 years, not closing the matches. And Richa Ghosh has certainly given me the confidence that yeah, while we are chasing, we have someone who can stay till the end and score that last few runs. Today finishing shot was a brilliant one. It was like Rohit Sharma kind of pull,
Uh,
authoritative, and went like towards the boundary. So I think Richa Ghosh has been a very big up for India. I'm still disappointed with Shefali for all the promise she has. For some reason, that willingness to just score runs. I mean, at times she just doesn't play the situation. So yeah, I think Richa Ghosh has been the biggest positive till now in this World Cup.
Richa Ghosh को लेके like coming into every match passing, like more challenges come up to her and she owns up to those challenges. आज I think she came in the 7th over, right? ये हम लोग पिछले लाइफ में भी डिस्कस किए थे. She came in the 14th or 15th over in the last match. तो I said that it was a little bit early for her. ये ऐसा मैंने बोला था. Now she comes in the 7th or 8th over and now she takes India over the line. So there are a lot of positives. The main positive is Richa Ghosh, obviously. But I think what Harman did today, again, can't go under the radar by any means because you need someone to support Richa Ghosh and the kind of innings that she plays in every match, be that Jemima or Harmanpreet, you know that she can't be the only aggressor. Someone has to stay with her at the crease, and they have to take like initiatives to occasionally hit the ball around the park and like score the runs also.
Plus, the good thing about Richa also is key. What the complaint that Pritish has against Shefali, I think Richa's positive is that she plays the situation very well. She knows when to go for the big shot and when to rotate the strike very well. Plus, she has this advantage that most big hitters have. She has a very strong bottom hand, and she knows कि उसके zone में ball आया तो she can hit it anywhere. Like
Anyway,
one of the shots that she hit today was a back
yeah,
foot
back foot में
punch
आके
over
तो
extra cover.
yeah, yeah.
That's like a मतलब that's an elite shot for any level of the sport. So I think that is a huge plus when it comes to
I
Richa.
think उस
Also, she's
पोजीशन में
very
जाके most of the players go for a uppercut or something like that. But to
yeah.
take on extra cover में वैसे shot मारना just like proves who you are.
I think the last match against Pakistan, Aisha Naseem did the same thing. She found a length which she could hit straight all the time. And Richa does the same thing whenever I see her batting and batting well. She tries to hit it straight all the time. That is a very good quality that I think Shefali lacks sometimes. She sometimes tries too much and shuffles around the crease a little too much. So yeah, something to learn from Shefali there.
I think, yeah, along with that, Aisha Naseem, the straight, yeah, that you said, this straight field, but along with that, yeah, Richa Ghosh has the cut shot in her armor, which is like better than anyone else. So with that and the last shot that Pritish said, the pull, तो वो अगर आ जाए तो ये yeah, she is a all dimensional player. तो अभी तो I don't see any way to stop her, but I'm sure England and Australia are teams who have plans always to like combat or yeah, any player. तो वो तो हो जाएगा. But again, we can't like depend on her solely in the middle order, especially.
I think if you meant all dimensional, I'll use the word 3D player. But yeah, that's little touchy topic in our country.
Yes.
But yeah, coming to Richa Ghosh, I think Richa Ghosh has been extremely benefited by that promotion of the order because she gets to play a lot of balls now and a lot of match situations. So I think that has been the best thing. And second thing is like I am loving Smriti was back today, although she didn't have a great outing, but yeah, she was fit. She took a brilliant catch. And I think Harmanpreet's role is kind of what like it's not a comparison, but exactly what Virat Kohli does for the men's team most probably in T20 or what he has done that anchor role because this team has actually actually players who can be a really good hitters. So I think Harmanpreet can like today she did. She was like getting those crucial runs and playing safe also because that's not Harman always goes all out attacking. But today she was cautious also because she knew that we had lost 3 quick wickets. So that's again a very good sign of a leader, which she is that taking care of the team around you and letting others play flourish around you. So I mean, though all those things are making like all these things are making a good sign for the team right now. But again, the big question comes that big matches, and it's that's our like kryptonite. The big matches and Indian women's cricket team. So next game we are playing England, and that's the like kind of the top like group deciding game because these are the two teams probably going through this group. So I mean, what are your thoughts on the game against England?
And you want to go first? मैं तो कुछ prediction देता हूँ तो वो jinx हो जाता है.
No, you do your bit first and then I'll go.
ठीक है, I think तो successfully you'll unjinx it hopefully. Yeah. So England के खिलाफ I think you have to be good in all departments because England also know that if they win, they'll face the second team who qualifies from the other group, and we also know that. So this is not just a game with like points up your sleeves ki 2 points mil gaye. This is also like more crucial in the long run. So the teams have a lot to fight for, and now that India has played 2 games before that, And I won't say these two matches were extremely competitive in their own sense, but we were challenged at specific points in the match. Like against Pakistan, so like for a long, long time in many stages. In West against West Indies today, not so much, but then again, we were challenged. So I think there are a lot of things to learn from, and considering we make those changes and we play according to the situations, तो वो तो are going to reflect against the England team. And also it I'll say more than what matters in the game against England, I think what will matter is how we take on like our journey after that match. Because be that a win, we shouldn't be like overconfident and like think we can defeat anyone. Because say that South Africa or Sri Lanka comes up from that group, so they aren't a easy team to defeat either. We have lost from South Africa like very recently only, and Sri Lanka, as we are seeing, there are like a lot of new emerging players who can just take away the game single-handedly. So we can't get too over like confident, but at the same time, if we lose, there is no reason to get demoralized to such an extent कि हम लोग ऑस्ट्रेलिया को हरा ही नहीं पाएंगे ऐसा कुछ. Because there are now clutch players who on their day can pull off games for India. We know that. So I think there are a lot of positives in that sense. So again, yeah, that will be my take.
So, Richa in the comment section is saying, do you guys think India can pull off a high scoring game since the last two have been both low scoring? So, I think I'll take off from this point when it comes to the England match, because England has already defeated West Indies and they were chasing 138 or something, I think, and they reached there in 14 overs. So there is already an indication that if England bat first, they might put up a huge score, because Heather Knight, Nat Shiver, Sophie Dunkley, they're all in very good nick. And again in the second match against Ireland, I think they reached the target again within 14 overs. It was around 110 or something like that. So I think, yeah, to answer your question, Richa, we'll get the answer to that in the next match itself. I have a feeling, because if England end up batting first, they will put up a huge score, and it will put pressure on India. But another thing that I want to highlight here is ki I think the difference with this Indian team right now is it has a lot of young people. वो तो था पहले भी, but now they know how to win from lose. मतलब situations when you might end up losing. They know how to pull out a match from situations like that, which was not the case previously. I think Mitali Raj also alluded to that during the commentary stint today.
Yeah.
Some of these players, they have played in high pressure situations. They have Many of them have played in the BBL as well. They have more than 100 matches for India already. Most of the players. Jemima is playing in a third World Cup at just 22 years of age. So all of these factors will come in handy at some point, and I think that is all coming together right now, because this core group of players, they've been playing together for quite some time now. And against a team like England, which has so many stars in their ranks, I think it's just about those moments. So I mean, someone like Renuka Thakur, who a lot was expected from her, right, going into the tournament. But the first two matches, she hasn't really stepped up to the plate. But even if you go by her performances during the Commonwealth Games and even after that, she has always made a classy comeback after she has been hit for runs. So I think this Indian team has a few characters whom we can genuinely count upon. So that is a major change from before. I think before 2020 maybe, if you have to put it as in terms of a timeline. But yeah, it will be a difficult match. But I think England will be slight favorites. But I think India can pull it off still.
Yeah, you talked about रेणुका ठाकुर, तो उसी पे आते हैं थोड़ा कि रेणुका ठाकुर's form, especially in the power play, like in these two games, is that affecting India's like ability to pick up crucial wickets up front, take them, and like also to add to that question, the wicket on the last ball of her spell, like does that like ignite that comeback?
I think being a like quite old follower of Indian women's cricket team. I'm still a Shikha Pandey supporter for some reason, and the reason I have my reasons for it. But yeah, nevertheless, Renuka Thakur has been brilliant for last 1 year. She has been brilliant for Indian team. I think she deserves the spot, Abito. And yeah, you mentioned right that what we expect from her is to the early wickets. You know the what she did in Commonwealth Games precisely. She put Australia on back foot twice, ran through their batting lineup. Like that precision is missing here, and probably I think one of the reason is the slow pitches also. Because if you notice today, there was a lot of drift there, which helped the spinners, but the slower ballers, not the the pacers. So I think a lot of it has to do with conditions also. But I'm pretty sure like there will be talks about that power play preciseness जो थी power play में, she getting wickets, early wickets, those are very important. And I think there will be there उस पे कुछ काम तो होगा for sure, because Troy Cooley is also there, who is a like seasoned coach, bowling coach. So I'm really hopeful that yeah, from next game we can see a probably one early wicket in first 2 overs.
She has been a little all over the place with her line, which is very unusual. That hasn't been the case at all. She has probably bowled a few short deliveries here and there. I mean, in the last year or so, but it has been very rare that she has missed her line, and it has happened for two matches now, consecutive matches. कि एक ball short हो गया, उसके बाद outside off stump बहुत width वाला एक ball हो गया. Then she drifts down the leg side and goes for four down to fine leg. That doesn't really happen with Renuka. So yeah, I think the last wicket, the wicket that she got in the last over should spark a comeback in the next match. But also, I think yeah, like Priti said, the pitches here have been very weird. I mean, one glance at the pitch and you can actually see the some sections of it that are completely disrupted, and there are other sections of it which do nothing for the bowler. So even when Harmanpreet was batting towards the end of the innings, there was one delivery I remember. I don't remember who the bowler was. She tried to cut the ball and it jacked back in and at a certain height suddenly off the pitch. So I think the pitch has a lot to do with it. She is struggling with the line because she doesn't really know key what she should expect from the pitch is also one of the factors I think. But yeah, Renuka has to come good if India wants to win the World Cup. That is for sure.
So now let's address the elephant in the room. हम लोग का major concern in these two matches, fielding. Fielding हम लोग का is not a bit of a worry, it is a major worry. We can't neglect that in any sense. We have been giving so many loose runs, not just missing catches, but loose runs in runouts and throw-ins. I think Richa Ghosh's performance in this match has improved with respect to positioning behind the wickets. जब दौड़ रहे हैं runners, तो she's positioning herself good. वो extra run नहीं जा रहा है. But then I think the fielding as a whole has been below par. So what do you have to say about that?
The fielding today was, I mean, it might sound a little harsh. It was very bad. It was very bad. We dropped a simple catch. Deepti Sharma dropped a simple catch running in from long on, I think. And before that, Jemima Rodriguez herself missed three run out chances, I think. I mean, it's difficult to score a direct hit every time, but when you have that much time on hand, and you could see the batsman visibly frustrated at that point. I think it was Stephanie Taylor who was batting at that point, and she was very frustrated with the non-striker for a few of the calls
Yeah,
that she was making, and we just failed to capitalize on that situation. They it was, I think just in one over they gave us three chances to run them out, and we didn't take a single one of them. And the run out that eventually came was from a misfield. So
yeah.
it's very weird how cricket turns out in a particular match. So yeah, we have to improve in our fielding because in the recently concluded under 19 T20 World Cup, the Indians were probably the best fielding side, and here till now we have been nowhere close to our best. So I think there is a lot of scope of improvement there. But yeah, in the first match our catching was decent, but today we let go of a couple of catches as well. But yeah, overall, I think we Rishikesh Kanitkar and his coaching staff have their work cut out when it comes to the Indian fielding.
I think वो भी एक है ना कि not just like ऊपर से fielding in that sense, but like the intensity in the field कि वो एक दो भी नहीं निकलने देंगे, ये करेंगे. Like if you understand that the batsman will reach the crease, then not throw the ball. Like measure your throws, be proactive in the field, which you see so much with like Australia. Even again, like in both their games, they had relatively like lighter opponents, but their intensity in the field is so high that it's almost impossible to match them. Because at the end of the day, if you want to win tournaments, you have to do it through fielding. So I think that is one concern. What do you have to say, Pritesh?
Fielding, I mean, today, apart from Smriti Mandana and one Pooja Vastrakar stop, I don't think there was anything in fielding to talk about good. Because as Shayan precisely mentioned, that we missed, four, five straight run out chances, which could have been like what, all out, like West Indies could have been all out under 100 had we, scored on those chances. So yeah, fielding needs to, like, I mean, it's very weird. It's an enigma. Sometimes we'll feel so good, like, and Deepti Sharma is a good fielder. Radha Yadav is a good fielder, and these
Yeah.
players are missing those balls, and like you don't expect them to miss, these kind of chances. So it's very weird. It's very like I'm not able to understand because one moment they have this one good save and the next ball they'll misfield the ball. So it's that at that extreme. So I think India really need to sort out the fielding because against England those chances are going to hurt you because they as Chan has mentioned they are chasing targets in 140 overs. Was 14 overs, sorry, 130 runs in 14 overs. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's very weird. The fielding is very weird, and I really think we need to sort the headspace out in fielding. That okay, let's not go for half chances because if you go for half chances, it's highly possible that you give away runs. And if you are not sure, though, please don't go. Aaj bhi bhai, I think there were two chances where there was throw at the wrong end. So the right end could have resulted in a wicket. So I think those are both order communication. I think probably it's little dusty. The fielding is still dusty. I think that's the aspect we need to work on the most.
I think that is where the intensity conversation comes in that Tausif mentioned. Ki Australia has a tremendous intensity when they're fielding on the ground. I think Indian team over the last two matches they are the least vocal side when they are fielding, which is something that I've observed. Keeper call नहीं करता कि batsman end में फेंकना है कि bowlers end में फेंकना है. When there's a misfield, there's nobody rebuking the player. I mean, you need a little bit of that. No, not like
Especially the captain.
abuse, especially the captain. Yeah, not like abusing the player or something like
Yeah.
that, but just
Yeah.
letting them know that this is not acceptable. I think I haven't seen much of that in the on the last two matches. So yeah, I think there's a lot of scope for improvement there.
Or boundary में fielding, that is another thing, right? Because against Pakistan, I think वो last वाला chance तो यास्तिका भाटिया का था. I don't remember clearly, and Radha Yadav dropped a sitter. But इधर Nidada take and like took an extraordinary catch. So these will be deciding moments when it comes to important matches. So boundary में fielding, that is one area we can't neglect by any means, because not but you just don't drop a catch, the batsman is still out there and you concede a 4 or a 6 most probably. So there are a lot of things that need to be addressed, and hopefully we are two matches into the tournament. This is high time that we do that.
I think the worst part was in the last match at least. Harlin is probably our best fielder, right? And she was the one
Yeah.
who missed the
Yeah.
easiest of the catches that were on
Yeah.
offer. So I think there's a little bit of complacency also in terms of our catching, especially. But the likes of Radha Yadav and Harleen Deol, you expect them to latch on to every opportunity they get. So it's a little bit disappointing. But yeah, as you said, there's still a lot of time to rectify these mistakes. So let's hope for the best before England happens.
Yeah, and I'm sure that like for every champion mentality, it is like important to come back from these errors. So I'm sure if India are to win this tournament, they will improve this department drastically, and they have to improve this department better than any other department. क्योंकि इस साइड में या इस डिपार्टमेंट में एरर सबसे ज्यादा है. तो there's a lot of work needs to be done in this one. But chalo, now coming to like the importance of a leg spinner and the role that Devika Vaidya played today. Even though like the 16th over was a bit down, I think from her, she considered 12 runs. But then again, वो captaincy भी थोड़ा एक decision में पूछूंगा because the 16th over when you see that the runs are slowing down, yeah, wickets गिरे हैं, it's time to like choke the opposition right away. So like bringing in Vedya at that moment was maybe not the best decision. But then, what do you have to say? Because especially in South Africa, the importance of a leg spinner is unparalleled, and she proved that today with her bowling, picking up like not just picking up wickets, but in her first over, I think she like choked the opponents good. So yeah, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so I think it was Nasir Hussain doing commentary who mentioned that every tournament winning side needs a good leg spinner. And if not a leg spinner, at least a good wrist spinner. I think
Yeah,
that is more important than a leg spinner. It can be an off spinner also. But yeah, I think what a good leg spinner offers you is that temptation to the opposing batsman to go after them. And in the T20 format, that can turn matches on its head in just one over. Because leg spinners have this tendency of lulling you into a false shot more than other
yeah,
spinners. It's just the way it is. It right from the days of Shane Warne to, I mean, you
yeah.
can name any good leg spinner in the history of cricket, either gender. I mean, they've
Even
always
that,
been
like that
difficult
is
to.
exactly what Poonam Yadav also did, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think India, I think they wanted to try out Devika Vaidya just to give her a few overs to bowl today. I think I don't see her playing against England if I'm being completely honest. I think it might be again a top heavy lineup to face England with Harleen Deol or even Yastika Bhatia coming in for that matter. I think, yeah, I don't really think she's there yet, so to speak. But the issue is the bowlers that we have, the spinners that we have, apart from Deepti Sharma, the others, they Rajeshwari Gaikwad is a very effective bowler, but that again is mostly in Indian conditions. Whenever I've seen her bowl outside of India, she tends to lose her line and length after the first couple of overs. And in T20, even in the last match when Pakistan were going at 5 runs and over after the 10th, 12th over, I was feeling ki will stop them before 120 ish. But they ended up making 148 or 149, whatever, 149. And that was mostly because of 2 overs in between bowled by the spinners. So I think if you have a quality leg spinner to bowl in those middle overs, it makes a whole lot of difference because it will most likely give you a wicket or two, and it will do another thing. It will give you the option. It give Harmanpreet Kaur the option of rotating her fast bowlers better because every good captain, what they try to do is they try to keep at least two overs from their premier fast bowlers for the death, right? Right now, what we are seeing is Shefali Verma had to come in and bowl the seventh or eighth over today. I think the
Yeah,
commentators also
seventh
mentioned that
over.
probably
Yeah.
this is not the right time to bowl her. You probably need to choke the team a little more, especially after they've lost 3 wickets in 6 balls. So that is where I think we need a quality leg spinner to go very far in this tournament. And just FYI, Australia has two of them. So yeah.
Yeah, so like I just you mentioned Shefali, but I think when we are speaking to spinners, our part-time spinners, specifically Shefali Verma, has been outstanding in that regard. She has been like even if with not the spin, she has been trying to hit the right line and length. वो ऑफ स्टम्प के बाहर एकदम देना कि बैट्समैन एकदम सडनली मिस कर जाए. So if that is the case and Harman sees that Shefali Verma is doing that, because a part-time bowler doesn't remain a part-time bowler when the batsman on the other end realize कि ये तो this is the one style that she'll go with. So I think Shefali has other tricks up her sleeves. But do you see Harman coming in bowling along with Shefali down the tournament?
I don't think Harman should bowl or Harman should even come to bowl because I'm happy. I mean, Harman, the thing with Harman is that Harman has a golden arm, and I think she should bowl when it's needed only. It's not that she should be, bowled as a 4 over bowler. And when Shan was mentioning leg spin, all I remember is Poonam Yadav and that spell against Australia. Oh my God. That's still fresh in my mind. Insane spell. Ran through the batting lineup. ऑस्ट्रेलिया को कोई आइडिया नहीं था क्या हो रहा है उनके साथ. So I agree with that we need a leg spinner. we badly need a leg spinner in this team because I think that's the missing puzzle. वो है उधर कहीं missing कि वो leg spinner जो foreign pitches पे आपको ना हमेशा एक दो wicket निकाल के दे at least. And I think Harmanpreet Kaur, I think Shefali, when bowling Shefali didn't make any sense to me because you had Devika Vaidya, you had Radha
Yeah,
Yadav already. You could have utilized them better because they are more seasoned bowlers. And Devika Vaidya is coming back after 8 years to the team. Like she had an 8 year gap and she has played a lot on India A tours. She has played a lot in the domestic circuit. So I mean, she carries that experience of getting those, breaking the partnership and all. So I think we should use Devika Vaidya more if she's playing because she again I think Harmanpreet also mentioned in the press conference 5 minutes back that we are batting deep right now because we have a tail which goes till ninth number now, which was not the case before. So if we are taking those players, so I think the top order of India is so solid right now that it's rare that we are going to that ninth number until there is a collapse. So use those players like Devika Vaidya and Radha Yadav in their bowling capabilities because they can bowl 4 overs. They can give you that 4 over 16 run 0 wicket spell, or at times they can give you 4 over 20 run 2 wicket. So I've been using Shefali Verma. My point is underutilization of bowlers should resources shouldn't be there. And as like Tausif mentioned, right, that Shefali is doing a lot of things right, but it won't take a Meg Lanning or a Beth Mooney to figure out
yeah,
Shefali. So like that's my biggest concern. That once she's figured out she's going for runs. So that is the biggest
Also,
thing.
another thing about that goes in the favor of leg spinners is the kind of pitches that we have seen so far. When there is variable bounce in a pitch, people don't realize the effectiveness that a leg spinner has because just by virtue of the way they release the ball, they get more purchase on a pitch that is not really a turning pitch,
Hmm.
much more than an off spinner. So especially in South African conditions, I think if you have a good leg spinner who has a good googly up her sleeve or who can turn the occasional leg break, that coupled with the bounce that these pitches have, that person will be unplayable in these conditions, especially in the middle overs. And another thing is the same pitch is being used for double headers, right? If I'm not wrong, because there's a Pakistan versus Ireland match tonight,
yeah.
and it will be played on the same pitch. So
Yeah.
there are so many matches being played on these pitches, and it will only wear the pitch out even more. So going forward, I think we have to figure out how to better use our spinners because right now they are doing a job. I mean, the quality of the opposition was not of that higher level so far, and they have done a very good. You can, of course, you can only defeat the side in front of you. You can defeat the side in front of you, of course, but till now they have done a decent job, but I fear for them when it comes to England, especially in the next match, because right now I don't see any consistency in the any major planning in the way they are bowling in the middle overs. Especially we are leaking runs everywhere. Even today, if we had not got a few of those wickets, we could have been looking at a 140 145 target, which would have been difficult on this pitch.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like coming to that, I think like what you mentioned before also, like what will be your changes from today's squad against the match in England? Because to be very honest, with no disregard to Hurley and Deol, I think the current Indian lineup or today's India lineup was perfect. Batting deep down jata hai. But again, Radha Yadav was not even like utilized to like 50% of what she can do because she bowled her 4 overs in the match against Pakistan, right? When Hurleen was playing. But today with Vaidya back, I think they wanted to also test Vaidya and give her the like flow, which will be crucial in the next matches. But then हम लोग का problem वही हो रहा है. It's not as much as with batting as it is with bowling, especially in the middle overs. So we need that one extra option when it comes to bowling, and Vaidya does like contribute with that inner bowling. So, like, what do you have to say with changes in the match against England?
I think there should not be changes because I totally agree that this is the best lineup India could have played with the team we have, the squad we have in South Africa. It's the balance. And Harleen Deol, the problem with Harleen Deol is Harleen Deol can't bat lower the order. You have to send her at number 3 and 4, which experiment failed very badly in the past series India had played, or even in the warm-up games. So I really don't think that Harleen, like again, no offense to Harleen there, but she is right on the bench because Devika Vedya gives you that handiness of order also, where she can come and score some quick run. And I think there are a few questions in comment that why Smriti is not able to score big. I mean, she just came back from
Yeah.
an injury. Thoda leave है दो उसको अभी. I mean, it's and the World Cup started, and I think वही है कि because I
But
don't
I was
see
going
any.
to ask you about the importance of like Smriti coming back. Vaunga, like finish this, then I'll come to that question.
Yeah, so I mean, मेरा वही है कि I don't see any changes because like one change I'll personally prefer is Shikha Pandey coming in place of Renuka Singh, but I mean that's not fair on Renuka at the moment. So yeah, so I think we should go with the same team. This looks settled. And right now I was in between. I was listening to Harmanpreet, and what she has said also that this combination looks perfect to us because we bat deep, we have extra bowling options, and we have more players with the all-rounder skill set, which is very important because all these teams, Australia, England, New Zealand for that matter, they are built on all-rounders because women's cricket is very different from men's cricket, to be very honest. And the more all-rounders you have, the more helpful it gets for you. So I think we are good with this team. Looks pretty good to me, and I think we can take on England. It's not England को थोड़ा सा होगा
Yeah.
benefit of the form, but yeah ठीक है. I mean we are good enough to. हमने उनको घर पे भी ODI हराया है, तो ठीक है. We are
Three
like
zero
carrying
हराया
that.
है.
हाँ. So yeah.
I think I'll just make one change to this side. And since we have been using Shefali Verma as a part-time bowler, I'll probably drop someone like Rajeshwari Gaikwad and bring in Shikha Pandey, Pritish's favorite, because I think another fast. I mean, when you watch the World Cup, I mean, the Indian squad composition right now, you wouldn't be able to figure out that the World Cup is happening in South Africa, right? It feel like कि नागपुर में हो रहा है, इंडिया में हो रहा है World Cup. Because we're playing four spinners and we are bowling Shefali Verma on top of that. I think we can do without that in some respects. Maybe bring in Shikha Pandey for Rajeshwari Gaikwad and see how it goes for one match. Because again, the same point. Middle overs may we need to mix it up, and we are not doing that enough right now with just two bowling options, medium pace bowling options.
I think what you said like completely needs to be tried. Even अगर next match में नहीं हुआ because they will try to not take many risks कि ये तो winning combination है तो maybe they'll go with this lineup. But bringing in Shikha Pandey instead of Gaikwad for one match is very necessary as to see कि क्या changes हो रहे हैं results में, going with that extra fast bowler and not spinner. I think that is very important. But next, I think yes, someone asked also key the importance of Smriti and like what do you guys have to say on the importance of Smriti coming back? Because I don't think it is just limited to scoring runs with her bat, but the confidence she allows at the other end to Shafali Verma to play her free shots, which again today that was just proved ki she was right there hitting the ball like from the first delivery. So the amount of confidence that these two share is very beneficial to the Indian team, and that again breaks when someone dismisses within the power play. So it is an icing on the cake if Shafali and Smriti are able to last the power play. I think half the match wahi jeet gaye if that happens in any match. But what do you guys have to say on Smriti and her performance on today's match as a whole, fielding also?
I think Smriti Mandhana is the leader of the group, to be very honest, along with obviously Harmanpreet Kaur. So, I mean, that's very natural to have her in the team, give confidence to the other players. And Smriti Mandhana is one name in world cricket right now which will put a terror in the heart of the opponent bowler, no matter which team they are playing. So because that's, and again, so coming out, I think this is a very important point which was going during WPL also, that you find in women's cricket, the T20, in the T20 format, the profile of having strike rate more than 120 is not much. You don't have, like, let's say 15 players or 20 players having 120 strike rate. It's very less. I think it's a group of 12 players, if I'm not wrong, who have career strike rate of 120 on a consistent basis. So, and that's where, because see, West Indies, their best batter is Haley Matthews. Her strike rate is 103.1. Their second best batter is Stephanie Taylor, 101.1. And that's how the world is around, like, because the T20 game of women's is different. So having someone like Smriti, it's a very rare profile to have a left-hander 123 strike rate. Her average is little low to the standard she has, but like the high standard she has. But I think in T20 strike rate is very important, contrary to what Indian men's opener believes. But yeah, so I think having Smriti really gives that impetus to the team of where she is right there as a leader, and obviously fielding, she's a gun fielder. And having her today, if you also notice, वो 32 रन जो थे पहले 2 ओवर के, सॉरी, बट हाँ, मतलब दोज 30,
28, 28.
28 रन, हाँ, 28 रन
Hmm.
पहले 2 ओवर के, उसने इंडिया को वो जो 3 विकेट का झटका लगा उससे बचा के
हाँ.
रखा, because we had that advantage. And that is, again, that's the, I think India has one of the best opening combos right now in the world. uh, that's Sefali and Smriti, and having Smriti gives a lot of, it's again, it's like Cheteshwar Pujara and Rishabh Pant play together, where Pujara gives Pant that confidence to go out and just go berserk. Because this has been a pattern that Shefali gets out the moment Smriti gets out. That, like, for some reason this has been the thing. So I think having Smriti is very important in the team right now.
Yeah, nothing much to add. Top two batsmen in batters in Indian team. Don't touch her. Don't change anything about her. Just let her be. She will
Yeah.
win you matches. She's just one of those kind of players who will win you matches no matter what. She might
And
go
I
with,
think he
matlab, she
showed
might
that.
score low. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's no way one can question Smriti Mandana's ability and stature in the Indian women's team in any format. I mean, when she is fit, she is the first name on the team sheet. There's no two ways about that. And कितने सारे benefits है to having Smriti. She's a left-hander. She scores runs
Yeah.
quickly at the top of the order. She can play a measured knock if required. She can go berserk if required. She plays fast bowlers the best of all the Indian batters, I think. So I
Yeah.
think multiple advantages to having her in the. There's
I
no
think
point in discussing also. Matlab. She's the
what Shayan
probably
said,
arguably the most important batsman in the team, batter in the team.
Shayan said was mentioned by commentators today also, that Smriti struggles. On contrary, she struggles against slow left armers, especially. So, like, that's, I think, the problem of number 18s across the format. I do across genders. So yeah, but yeah, I guess you don't touch number 18 in Indian cricket. Let them be wherever they are. So I think, yeah, nothing with Smriti Mandana. She is
And
the most important player for India right now, along with obviously likes of Harmanpreet and Dipti Sharma.
I think the first boundary today also showed that she is just back in her rhythm. You just give her some more playtime and she will show you that she will win you matches. So yeah, I think
But I always have this one question when a player is unfit on day one and then past fit to play on day four. Matlab, when you have a finger injury, I know it's just something that I kind of think of when I have the time to myself. I think, but when you have a major finger injury, and we could see her fingers taped up in the last match, right? And just 3 days later, she was match fit. So I don't really know. Might be some sort of a strategy कि
I
पाकिस्तान
think
के against
I
नहीं
think
खिलाया
I
just to
think
keep her.
नहीं,
नहीं
I
नहीं
think I think
ये
you're
तुम
you're
ज्यादा
you're
न्यूज़
watching
देख
it.
रहे हो आज.
हाँ,
या
exactly.
या
You are
इस
watching Indian media, Indian
हाँ
television media a lot
हाँ
these days. So that
या
must be the reason. So yeah, anyway, but I
But
think
yeah, yeah. Smith, yeah.
yeah, I think, to summarize, my point of view will be like, I have written an article about this also, that why India can win this year's T20 Women's World Cup. A lot of stars are aligning. Women's IPL is happening. That is what happened in 2007. First IPL was happening, and we are coming on the back of a under 19 Women's World Cup win, which according to me is a very big motivation to the senior players out there, because, like, and Shefali and Richa, you can see their body language now. Richa Ghosh is very much confident in what she was in her starting day. So I think we really have a good group, and again, why wo big game mentality is very important. And if we don't, if we, like, I think the England game is gonna be a very much, fortune teller to us that okay, what's coming up in next 1 week for us. So let's hope that India plays well against England and we get to do this live again with the same energy we are doing today.
Yes.
Yes, that is the objective.
The
Let's
last
just take
point is very
a couple
important.
of the questions and then just
Yeah. We have already seen very less competition in women's cricket, and if New Zealand continued this, then it is not good for the sport. What do you have to say about New Zealand performance in this World Cup? It has been a little disappointing. Divine has also expressed about the auction. There are many things that are not going in favor for the women's team, but I am sure as a champion team, you fight back these situations and come back, right?
I think New Zealand losing the first game to Australia in that fashion. I mean that
Yeah,
can hamper any team's
break you.
morale, mindset, whatever you call. I mean that's a crushing loss. I mean they bulldozed through them. So I mean it's just that I believe it's just probably they'll bounce back or it's gonna be a sad end to their campaign maybe because the first game was like that was like what I don't know. It's like even they didn't know what is happening. That 76 all out was like that. Was that match, and was nowhere close to at what the level New Zealand played. So I mean, it was a very weird game to be very honest. So I mean, I think that loss has hampered them.
Yeah, I also agree to that. We'll take another comment. The
I
most
yeah.
improved player. Yeah, Shan, go on.
No, I just had one point to mention there. The question mentions ki there's very less competition in women's cricket. I think it has been the same in men's cricket also. I mean, every era has had one team. Matlab, it's not exclusive to
I
women's
mean,
cricket, to be
I
very
mean,
honest. But yeah,
to be very honest, women's cricket has more unpredictability apart from Australia right
Yeah,
now. The other teams
exactly,
can beat
exactly. Yeah.
any one of them can beat anyone, which is not in men's cricket. Men's cricket is a group of 4 teams, which will do well.
तो वही बोलने जा रहा था कि other than the giants, there are teams who will fight and like give ye disappointments and all. Abhi, I think the match that is going on currently will pan out to be a very interesting one, Pakistan and Ireland. Let's see which way it goes. But like similarly, there are like very crucial matches with equal components or yeah, when they fight it out on the field.
And I think one most important aspect again, the matches India and Australia play, they haven't been much difference to be very honest. If you look at last that series also, that was a close series. Before that Commonwealth Games, both games India had the hand on neck of Australia, but then Australia, that's their beauty. That's the mental fortitude which we talk about. That Australia, despite being behind India throughout the game, in those clutch moments they come back and they win the game. So it's not
Yeah.
competition is there. It's just that the teams are taking time to develop that mental ability, especially Indian team. They are growing more into that mental. The mental strength is growing more now.
Yeah, I'll take another comment. The most improved player currently is Deepti and Richa. Both has matured enough now. I truly agree to that. I think Deepti Sharma, with her age and the time that she is playing, that is bound to happen. But the growth that Richa Ghosh is showing at this level is immense, and I hope she continues this.
Yeah, I think
What
Richa
else?
Ghosh is the most obvious answer to that question. But I would also like to point out another name, Jemima. I think she goes a little bit under the radar most of the times because just she look comes across as that kind of a person and doesn't take herself
Yeah,
too seriously and all of that. But I think she is one of the most important players in this squad simply because
yeah,
the enthusiasm she has in the team. I think she is one of those people that you would love to have in your team no matter what. And the other thing about her is she's a very good fielder, although she did miss a couple of run out chances today. She's probably in the top three in terms of fielding in this side. And also coming back into the team after the disappointment of not making the World Cups, the 50 over World Cup squad, and doing well in the Commonwealth Games, then playing in the Big Bash. she has that experience now to go with ability as well, and she has played enough crunch situations now to replicate those kind of performance that she has shown us previously in the big stage, again in the World Cup at least. So I think Jemima is another name that we should be focusing on for the rest of the tournament, because again another person that has to do well for India to reach the final at least.
Yeah, and because also like the number three slot, like it goes under the radar or people don't talk about it much. The number three slot, especially in T20 cricket, is very important because sometimes you like lose early wickets, but sometimes you don't. So it's equally important to like start a little slow, but then like accelerate your gears, which he did in the match against Pakistan, which allowed Harman to play a free role in the middle. I think she has a very crucial role to play throughout the tournament. Let's
And
see
also
how
the
that
number
happens.
three position is the most thankless, no? So if you are
Yeah,
suppose you are chasing 150 and you lose two early wickets, and the number three batter is still there in the crease, and she has been advised to carry her bat through, she'll probably make some 35 of 38 deliveries with 5 overs to go. And if after that she gets out, everybody will be blaming her. But the
yeah.
if you look at it closely, she's the person because of whom the team has reached a certain stage where they can hope to win the match. I think the number
I
three position is a very thankless position.
I think the biggest example for that will be again that India Pakistan match at MCC. Had Virat Kohli not hit those two sixes, he would have probably slandered across the country that day for taking up those balls and not giving chance to, let's say, Surya to bat, or to the others to bat. But he just finished the game, and that is what probably and that is what showed also that the kind of number three is required in T20 if you are not an all-out side like England. Like India doesn't follow the England philosophy. No,
Yeah,
neither Indian women's team follows the Australian women's team follows philosophy, where number eight batters comes and she hits three sixes and wins you the game. So for teams like India who function across the philosophy of a anchor sheet anchor, I think you need to have one in the team. But the problem becomes when you have more than one, which is not the case with the
yeah,
Indian women's team right now, that you have two proper explosive batters on the top, Jemima, then Harmanpreet, who can play either roles. That's the biggest asset Harman gives you. Like she can, she can save the innings like she did today and take you to the win, and or she can what she did against Pakistan also. Like yeah, sorry, not Pakistan. I mean a match against Australia where she came and like just exploded. So I mean that is the India. As I mentioned, India's batting is very compact right now. Until unless we collapse, I don't think there is much to say about. But yeah, so India has a very good batting unit, but bowling is still thoda sa worried.
I'll still like to see the Indian lower order get tested in crunch situations, and that will happen in these important encounters. So I hope they are practicing well enough. So because these crunch situations or moment won't just come to you every match, but when it comes, you have to perform. It's very important. I hope that will also be the case. I feel Radha Yadav is in the team only because of her fielding. What's your thought? I don't feel she's doing good. No, I personally don't agree with that because in the first game against Pakistan, it was quite the opposite. She was brilliant with her bowling. She was equally bad with her fielding. I don't think that is the case. She was not used much or utilized much today because they wanted to try out Vaidya. So yeah, what will be your say on that?
Yeah, yeah,
I think
same. I think Radha Yadav
Hmm.
is a divisive player simply because of the kind of qualities that she brings into a team. She's not really a full-fledged batsman. She's not really a full-fledged bowler. It's kind of the Sanjay Manjrekar, Ravindra Jadeja dilemma that is at play here. I think that is what colors people's opinion sometimes about her. But I think she's a fantastic young player. She has a lot of potential with the bat also, and she needs to work with on a bowling a little bit. But I think one thing that I really like about her is how she varies her pace. I think no other bowler in the at least no other spinner in the Indian team has that variation in their pace. So I think she has a very good arm ball also that comes into the right hander. So I think she needs to work on her bowling a little bit, but she has all the ingredients there to become a very competitive bowler for India going forward,
And
and
we
even a
would
batter for
need
that
her
matter.
skills. We would need her skills in these matches, upcoming matches. Yeah, I think that's
I
it
think,
from the comments.
mm,
Yeah,
right. I think that will be all from us today.
yeah, we've covered a lot of topics actually. जो
Yeah.
बोलने के लिए नहीं था वो भी cover कर लिया हमने.
Huh. But as Priti said, we hope that we come back the next day as overjoyed and enthusiastic as we are today.
Enthusiastic तो होके आएंगे, वो पॉजिटिवली या नेगेटिवली वो अलग
हाँ,
बात है.
negatively वो अभी हाँ मैटर करता है. True,
I
true.
think it's a Saturday also, so let's see हम कैसे
Yeah,
आते हैं उस दिन. Very important
Hmm.
game for India.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it for